and Richard Haass. Mr. Trump arriving at such a precarious moment as Vaughn has just pointed out, the French government has collapsed. Macron is caught between the left wing and right wing Le Pen. How important is this moment for Donald Trump, for the Macron relationship? And what does it say for Europe and Ukraine?
Lots of questions there.
A lot.
Look, I think, look, for Donald Trump, it's this is an enjoyable trip. It's a triumphant trip, and it's a positive sort of, event, the reopening of Notre Dame. The problem is he's arriving in a Paris, in a France that's closing. The government isn't working. Macron has a few years left. It's not clear to me, Andre, he can survive it. It's not clear to me he has a foundation for governing. The left and the right have brought down the most recent government, Barnier's government. They don't agree, though, on what needs to take its place. So France has reached a real impasse. Germany's reached a real impasse in its politics. Britain, the new Labour government's not doing well at all. What Donald Trump is facing is a much weaker Europe. Economically, Europe's barely growing. Politically, it's weaker. It's weaker. In terms of Ukraine, though, I think the most interesting news is not in Europe. It's in his appointment of Keith Kellogg as his point person for Ukraine and Russia. And Keith Kellogg has written recently a paper that doesn't call, make it clear, does not call for throwing Ukraine under the bus, but talks about continuing to arm Ukraine to try to bring about a ceasefire in place. I actually think it's a realistic, reasonable strategy. So I take that as a very good sign.
And if the world were not as challenging as it already was, with 2 hot wars and a lot of problems in between, and Syria blowing up, now we have a major U.S. ally in such a critical place, Korea, in turmoil. South Korea's president facing an impeachment vote tomorrow, following his shocking, short-lived martial law decree earlier this week, which caught the U.S. completely by surprise. What are you anticipating there? And it's certainly reaffirming that, so many people turned out in the cold in the middle of the night,
Sure. Look,
demonstrating for democracy, for liberal democracy, and supported by the military and by the parliament.
100%. President Yoon badly miscalculated. What he was thinking, quite honestly, isn't clear. It seemed almost he snapped under the pressure, various investigations, the various impeachment efforts against senior people. I think he's lost what the Chinese would call the mandate of heaven. He's lost his legitimacy. I don't think he survives politically, to be perfectly honest here. The good news is that the resilience of Korean democratic institutions. I remember, actually, when I used to go there as a young man, I'd visit campuses, and every trip I took, it would end up with tear gas because students would be protesting against the military leadership. South Korea now is a robust democracy after some 4 decades. It's one of the world's, 10 or 12 largest economies. It's a real ally. So basically, this is good news. The only thing that I worry about a little bit is the orientation of the next leadership of South Korea. South Korea has been quite robust in recent years and being moving closer to Japan, being a partner with us on the peninsula, being a partner to some extent against China. And I think the question is, will South Korea have the bandwidth, given its internal challenges? What will be its focus? But again, I think this is basically good news for what it tells us about a democracy under stress and how it's surviving.
And before I let you go, let me ask you about Syria, because rebel forces are now claiming even more territory in the recent fighting. They clearly saw vulnerability with Iran on its back feet, Hezbollah as well. What are you watching for there? How does this play out? Do you think the regime actually could be at risk?
I do think the regime could be at risk because its principal backers that kept it in place a decade ago, Russia and Iran, shall we say, are somewhat occupied. They're somewhat weakened. So I actually do think the regime is at risk. It never regained the loyalty or support of the people. They're ruled by coercion. And if that coercion disappears, as it seems to be doing, I actually think this regime is vulnerable. That's the good news. The bad news, Andrea, the people who want to take its place, who are fighting against it, these aren't good guys. A Taliban-like group is involved here. Turkey wants a large role. One of the old saying is the enemy of your enemy is your friend. Quite possible the enemy of your enemy can still be your enemy here. There may be no good news regardless of how this plays out.